Well, this is week 2 of our seasonal pumpkin beer podcast, show, video, all of those things. And so we've got 2 more beers. We did 4 last week, so if you didn't watch those, please go back. Or some actually pretty interesting stuff.
Yes.
Not just filler. It was actually some interesting things in there. Not some pumpkin pie filler in there. And so we've got 2 more this week, and then we'll have a little bit of discussion, and we will crown a new winner. We have, as we mentioned last week, we have retired 2 beers, the jerseys of these 2 beers here, with the Dogfish Pumpkin and, of course, the Smashed Pumpkin from Shipyard Brewing.
Yes.
Are the 2 favorites that we love.
Right.
Or that I love, you accept.
Yes. That I deal with.
You accept. If you
I tolerate.
you would tolerate to have those. And so we have moved on. We kind of stayed in the brown ale, kind of lighter territory like that. We have moved on to a stout.
Okay.
From Wasatch Brewing Company. They're out of Utah. They make the humorous polygamy porter.
Yeah, we've had some Wasatch stuff
The
before.
Devastator is quite delicious.
Okay.
That's a bock that they do that is really good.
Yep.
So this year they have got the Black-o'-lantern. It is a pumpkin stout. So this also uses pumpkin, which is one of the criteria that we have, and they've done the dark twist on it. This one I believe is right around $8.99 for the 6-pack.
Okay. 6.5% alcohol.
6.5% alcohol. So we've actually raised the
That's
alcohol.
gone up a little bit. Yep.
That's probably going to be a topic for both of these beers. I bet both of these are going to wind up being higher in alcohol. I know the next one is.
Okay.
So we
I
will
keep
get
asking you if you've tried that next one, and you say no.
I
But you've
haven't.
done intensive research.
I have, and I only, like I said, that's why I only want to tell you so much. But yeah, I've actually liked several of Wasatch's beers. Like I said, they've got some fairly humorous, logos and labels and things like that, which is good. But they back it up with some pretty good craft beer as well.
Yeah. That's dark as midnight. No, it's definitely dark.
Dark brown.
Yeah, dark brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't say it's none more black. It's not Spinal Tap.
Oh, no.
It's not quite that dark.
Roasted malt.
Yep. Roasted malt, little spices. Obviously can definitely tell it's a stout.
Yep.
It's not in your face with it, but there's, the roasted malts are there. The heavier.
Aroma-wise, though, it makes me think of those, what were those, like, Rocky Mountain black ales, or what were those things called?
That was it, the black ale, which was, like I said, left-handed.
Yeah.
One of those.
That's what it reminds me of for some reason. That almost like, it's roasted malt, but there's almost that, like...
It's not quite that, I don't think. It's not quite that roasty. Those are almost like roasty for me.
Roasty,
like,
dusty,
I don't want to drink
we were saying. Yeah, okay.
Roasty, dusty.
All right.
But I know what you're saying. There's a note of that in there.
It's there.
I would agree with that.
Ginger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the dominant spice.
I think that's, as you let that sit in your mouth. At first I was just thinking, it's just, I don't get anything. Little heat. Rising up.
A little powdered ginger in there, little cinnamon. Some of the roastiness comes through. It's not a super heavy, strong stout. It's definitely very easy drinking stout.
Yeah, lots of carbonation.
Yeah, there's a good amount of carbonation going on there.
Lots of bubble. It's hot. I mean, not hot, alcohol hot, but very tingly.
The flavor balances pretty well, though. I like it. Like I said, it's...
I don't get the pumpkin part. I get the spice part.
It probably would, even though there's little to no actual pumpkin squash flavor itself in there, and it would take even more of that away. I actually would like if there's a little bit more stout coming through. I'd like a little bit more of the dark with those spices. I get kind of the spices, like you said, the ginger first, and then it's kind of at the very end. It's like, oh yeah, that's a stout. You know what I mean? I don't get it all the way through my palate. I'm not getting like, oh yeah, there's this and that stout. And then, oh, there's some spices. Kind of like you said, oh, there's some nice, a little ginger. Oh yeah, there's a little smoky. There's a little smoky roasty in there.
Yeah.
A little hint of chocolate, It's
kind of a
very mild,
easy drinking pumpkin spice stout with a hint of stout. Yeah.
I would totally agree. So we've got one more for this show, and then we will crown the victor. So we will go get the final beer number 6. Beer.
Holy crap!
6. What? Oh my gosh, that was quite an
sorry.
Quite a shout. You're very excited there, and I am too, because I have been holding on to this beer for Probably about 3-4 months now. No, that's too long.
San Diego.
San Diego. So
June.
when did that was June. So
End of June.
Almost 4 months ago. When this podcast comes out, almost 4 months ago.
Oh, this podcast going to come out fairly soon.
3.5.
We want to get it out. We want to get it now.
3 months.
End of June. It's the end of September.
It's the end of September.
Less than 3 months.
Let's say October 1st.
Okay. 3 months.
Yeah. So about 3 months, I've been holding on to this beer in particular, and as soon as I found it, I knew the podcast it was going to go with.
Well, of course. It says pumpkin on it.
It says pumpkin on it.
Yes.
But it is also from a brewery that you have introduced me to.
Oh,
you can only kind of find it in California as of right now that we could see. So
at least it's not in Arizona.
this has made some travels. We are speaking, of course, of Almanac Beer Company?
Almanac Brewing,
yes, Almanac
I think.
Beer Company.
Oh, is it Almanac?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought they weren't brewing.
Almanac Beer Company.
Brain was turning around.
Out of San Francisco.
They are out of San Francisco. That is correct. They are big into the farm to barrel, as they call it. Most of, I think actually maybe all, well, they do an IPA or two, but like I said, most of their stuff, especially if you find it in this size bottle, is barrel aged in some way. So this is a barrel aged pumpkin beer. It is 50% of the ale is brewed with pumpkins and aged in rye and brandy barrels, and the other 50% of the ale is brewed with spices.
Okay.
And then they blend those two together and hopefully make something amazing, as their other stuff usually winds up being. And the price of amazing usually is more expensive.
Yeah, it's probably like $11.
This was around $12.
Yeah,
that's right.
For $3.75.
$13 for $3.75.
I saw this at Olive Tree Market, and I almost grabbed one, but I was like, I couldn't quite bring myself to do it. No, what I just explained about
I could.
It's 12%.
It is 12%. Was that your exclamation?
That was my exclamation.
I know.
Well, it wasn't. I don't know. It was shock.
Shock and awe. And
it's more shock and awe.
So who knows? This could be, wonderful in some ways, but not enough in a.
Well, we really liked the almanacs we tried.
Yes.
Last year that I brought back from San Diego.
Those were fantastic. That was our California beer train.
Oh yes, choo choo. That was a good train.
It was. But so that's why we held this one to last. I knew the alcohol content was high. I knew the barrel aging was going on. All of those things. It almost the way the bubbles are going up, it almost looks syrupy already. It looks
just
heavy.
sort of slow,
just because they're slowly kind
not
of
quite lava lampish.
No. not lava lamp slow. No, not like that at all. But color. That's kind of getting back more toward the first couple that we had.
Yeah, a little darker, but
show.
that dark copper orange.
Yeah, I would say so.
There's a funkiness in there. Do you get some funky?
It's a delicious little bit of wonderment in that glass. There's a little bit of spice. There's a little light funk.
Yeah, there's some
a little
mild
sweet
funk. Yeah,
there's a little bourbon, little like brandy. Like there's that the barrel agedness.
There's a little bit of everything.
That little bit of sweet and all blended in this nice mild fashion. Like nothing's
right
strong. Like you said, it even kind of took you a minute. Like I think there's a little. And then there's a little. The spices I would say are nicely blended in there. They're definitely there. It's kind of more of that nutmeg, clove, cinnamon kind of blend. I don't get like the ginger we've talked about in the last
No, there's a deep sweetness there in there too, like a sweeter component.
A little vanilla maybe in there.
Yeah.
There's a little oak, a little wood.
Oak.
Makes it good. No.
You've seen that Seinfeld, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, of course. I haven't seen one episode. Now
I can't believe it's a Smucker's one.
The name like
no, I'm not ridiculing.
It has to be good.
I'm not ridiculing it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying some of the ones toward the end of that last season I didn't see. At least one.
I think it's time to taste now.
Okay.
It's everything that I got in the aroma. I'm getting a little heat and a little sweet kind of in the middle of the palate. I'm getting some of the spices are coming through, but then they give way to some of the some vanilla and that lighter fruit. I don't have a lot of brandy, so I don't have a lot of familiarity with what that.
There is a grapey note there too in the back. There's a grapey depth.
There's a little hint of funk on the very back. I get some of that too, but it's all just kind of blended in this heavy syrupy. The thing I wanted to mention, or kind of was avoiding, was they mentioned this was a barley wine.
Well, you know what? When I said, what did I say? Sweet, sugary depth, or what? Yeah. What did I say? That's what I was trying to figure out a better way to say that.
That was what they. When I actually went and read more about it, they don't mention it anywhere.
You can't slip it past me.
It's not.
When I said that, that's what I was actually getting. But I thought, you know what? all the time when I get that, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm getting a little bit of that barley wine," and you're like,
because usually you get that with the onion ring and all
Yeah.
that other kind of
No.
stuff in there. But
No,
like
onion
this,
ring's not in there.
It's specifically mentioned. Like, so, yeah, when I went to their website to read more on it, that was where they said pumpkin barley wine style ale, and then they said the barrel aged and all that kind of stuff. And they did this late last year, so this has been
But that barley wine quality that I don't like is blended in with enough other things that I do like the sour.
Maybe you just don't like some of the run of the mill barley wines. And
We've tried a lot of barley wines.
Not enough.
We've tried a lot of barley wine. Enough for me. And the only one I liked was the one you said was the least like a barley wine, the Bigfoot.
You also like the oak smoke.
There's a Stone.
Oak smoke from Stone.
Yes.
You were like, this
so
is good.
once again, you've taken the
So
parts.
this is the twist.
So you've taken the parts of the barley wine that I don't like, which is that whatever that sweety vegetal quality.
But maybe that's people making a bad barley wine.
Well, then
Maybe
a
this is
lot of
them
them are
for-
making. Well, but
I can't say that.
but this has a lot of other things going on with it. It's got barrel. It's got sour.
And
it's
that
got
fruit is in
funk.
there, too.
It's
That
got
fruit is in there, and the funk and the spices.
So,
there
but
is, I
that
guess,
other quality is still there for me. It's just blended in with
That's
enough
funny.
other
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't get any of that at all.
Yeah. So I got, like I said, and that's when, like I said,
I was kind of hoping for more of it in there, and I didn't get any. And I when I tasted it, I was like, wow, this doesn't seem like that at all.
see now. Lingering, I'm getting like a brown sugar sort of coating, or
Yes.
at least finish, a
Yeah.
brown sugar sort of coating. But yeah, that definitely that depth, that sugary depth, that's what makes me think of that.
That's really good though. That's pretty tasty.
That being said, this if actually being a barley wine, I could drink that.
It's a highly ranking barley wine.
It is. Oh yeah, and there really isn't a big list of high-ranking barley wines for me.
It's a short list of 2, apparently. That's really pretty delicious. There's a lot of depth of flavor, a lot of depth of everything, and the pumpkin. I don't think is you think with all the things we talked about that it might get lost in there, and I don't think it does. I think it blends in there nicely and complements the other things.
So because I
Maybe
don't
not
get
so
it.
focused. You don't think you get the cinnamon? You don't think the pumpkin pie stuff kind of going on?
There's some in there. I'm getting more of like the soury and some funk, and yeah, I guess it's there. It's just not.
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
That's what I'm left
it's
with.
there,
is
but
that
there's
it-
also there's a bright there's a citrusy note in there too.
Yeah, I didn't say that's
That's-
the only
that's
thing.
there.
I think it doesn't get lost. I think surprisingly for everything that's going on in here from reading
Yeah.
that label, it doesn't get lost to me. I still get that in there.
Okay, but you're not getting
Along with-
pumpkin. You're getting the spices. Or are you getting pumpkin?
I get a little.
Maybe
bit
that's
of,
the
I get a little
body.
bit of something that's. Well, I mean, the body could be so much from the heaviness of
Yeah,
everything else going on.
that's
There,
true.
So that one's really kind of hard to tell. But to me, there's a flavor when you just have spices, and then there's a flavor at least when it's with something else. Like I said, and I've had enough of those, I think, to know that there's a little something else going on in there. It's not overwhelming because there is so much of the heavier part, but the blend of the spices goes in with everything else nicely, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
That was pretty good, though. I like that one.
Ready?
I did like that one.
Yeah.
I'm glad I bought that one. So now we have to choose a winner.
We need to deliberate, or not deliberate, but we need to. Well, are we going to choose our own favorites, and then
They could be the same.
They could be. What if they're not? What do we do then?
I'm actually debating a little bit. We may actually need to go off camera here for a minute because I have to think about it for a minute.
So should we
I'm
pick
kinda-
pick our own favorite,
I'm
or should we?
actually. I'd say for me right now, it's a tie between 2 of them, or very close between 2. So you actually have 2 that you're kind of going back and forth a little bit because one's one way, something's the other way.
Yes.
So why don't you say one of yours?
Okay.
And I will say one of mine.
Okay.
And then we'll go that way. So what's one of yours?
Jolly Pumpkin.
Okay, that's one of mine as well.
Okay.
Okay, my other one is the Ballast Point.
That's my other one too. Okay, I thought you were going to go with this one.
No, I like I said, I like this one, but it's not enough of the other component. The Ballast Point one, I honestly did not think I was going to like as much, and it really surprised me.
Yes.
The crust component,
Yeah.
all those other things that we always talked about, like in the smash pumpkin, I like that. It wasn't just the pumpkin. It
Yeah.
wasn't just the spices. There was this little extra something that just made me think of, as we've talked before, Thanksgivings, not only with family and friends, but just all of that together just made me think about that. So
should we bring back the bottles, or are you flashing them right here?
I think we'll put something up there.
Okay, all right. Should I move this on? Here's the thing I want to say about this, though. This is one of my favorite barley wines.
So we'll go with
So that's what I'm going to go with.
This just shows to me, like I said, I never have a problem spending extra on an Almanac beer.
Yeah.
Something like this that may be out of your wheelhouse, or, well, usually they're sour stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. But I am proud to pay a little bit extra for that because it's just some great flavors.
No, that's
really good, high quality stuff.
That was really good.
It just didn't have enough of, when I think of pumpkin beer, and especially even if you do the slant toward what people may want to try and buy.
Okay. This is tricky.
We're picking a pumpkin beer, Keith. I know what you want to do, but you can't do it.
But and that's what I'm saying.
Do it.
And that's what I'm saying. If we're picking the best pumpkin beer that we tried this year,
yeah,
it's the Ballast Point.
Thank you. That's correct. That is the correct answer.
But if you're picking the beer that I would buy, again, it's the Jolly Pumpkin.
I like what you've done there. And that's all right. Because I would say this. I would buy both of these.
Okay.
I would buy both of them for different reasons. The Jolly Pumpkin I would buy just because it's delicious.
Yes.
It has very light spice. Even coming back to it now, it's more about the lemon fruits kind of mellowed out a little bit after having these other beers. But still very good. And I really like it. But I just can't call it a pumpkin beer. Not in what we have kind of thrown around as a pumpkin beer, looking for those different things.
And that's why I like it.
So that's the only reason for me that it becomes the slightly runner-up, because I really like it.
Yeah.
So for me, if you are looking for pumpkin flavor, all the things we talked about, crust, whatever, and even going back to it now, the Ballast Point is the winner.
That is
delicious. It is really good.
Yeah.
Crust, all those things, excellent. This Jolly Pumpkin, also delicious. Just... it's borderline pumpkin beer, even though it has pumpkin in it.
And I like it because it is sour, because it does have some funk, and it has the pumpkin stuff as a backseat. And if you've watched the show, and if you've gathered anything from watching this even this year, you realize this isn't my favorite style of beer, but it's entertaining, it's fun. I'm always happy to sit here and try beers, talk about them with you, with Andrew. So, hey, it's a good time. So I will buy this. I would buy this, and I will buy this, but I like this. But I don't know if I'm gonna buy it.
If someone said, "Hey, we're having a Halloween party. You need to bring over a pumpkin beer,"
you should try the Ballast Point. It's really good because it tastes like a pumpkin pie. It tastes like crust. It tastes like more of the crust with some of the pumpkin. Kind of as you get toward the end of the slice. When you get toward the back where it's more crust with the pumpkin, that is a really great beer. They're a great brewery. You should try that.
I am in 100% agreement with that.
Now, if you're someone who just needs to drink a pumpkin beer because you're not really a big pumpkin beer fan, but you have to say you're drinking pumpkin beer, please try this.
Try the Jolly Pumpkin.
Because it's really good.
I would totally agree. So it's a little bit of co-champions this year.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the more truer pumpkin beer experience, go with the Ballast Point.
Oh, that's a good idea. We could have the pumpkin beer champion and the sour pumpkin beer champion.
Sour, there's only one. I guess there was kind of two. This year we kind of had two with the Almanac.
With the Almanac, although that was a barley wine. So
yeah, that's true.
Honestly, this has been the most diverse, and I have to go back and actually look. We've had some of the winners, some of the ones that were not our winners in previous years were still pretty good.
Yeah.
In the pumpkin beer vein, but honestly, you're right. I mean, I drink this again. I take a sip, and this is a pumpkin beer.
A well-made, well-crafted, pumpkin beer. All right. So again, the pumpkin beer champion this year is the Ballast Point, with the very close runner-up for something different.
Yes,
is the Jolly Pumpkin.
Yes.
Please go out and look for any of these beers or anything we tried if they interest you. Let us know what you think if you've had them. Always want to know. But whether we like it or not,
you should give it a shot.